the puppet master, or is known locally in India. Kathaputali Mastar as he is one of the most horrific serial. The nature of the crimes he committed haunt thousands across Western India, his infamy still running through the country to this day. Serial killers of all time, the brutality of the killing. As well as the lack of residents of Mumbai hold this monster in a similar regard that the Whitechapel residents of certain puppet master is not thought to be a man, but a monster. The police have never paid him any attention, with the information of this case largely deriving from qualitative data and first-hand interviews. The reasons for this are touched upon later. It was the summer of Mumbai were at a sweltering 400+1 OOF. Mumbai itself is India's most populous city, the third most densely populated city in the world. Out of the millions that live in Mumbai, a large proportion are forced to live in slums, shacks in dirt floors that are a struggle for any family to live in, let alone one of 10+ people, such as the family that Arav Bhatt was a part of. Arav was born in the early 90s as the 8th child in the Bhatt family. They grew up in a small shanty hut in South Mumbai, and like many of the children in the area, Arav had to learn to fend for himself at an early age. Arav and many of the other street kids would roam the city through the day and head back towards the slums at night to be reunited with their families. School was no option. It was a day like any other. Arav volunteered to retrieve it, one of the last decisions he would ever make. When Arav didn't return a few minutes after he disappeared behind the fence, his friends began to panic. They searched for him thoroughly but ultimately returned to the slums without Arav that night. Arav's mother was naturally heartbroken, but with 9 other children to care for, she could not spare the time to look for Arav herself. The police also wrote him off as another runaway child, and Arav was unfortunately all but forgotten. Just a year later, you can imagine the thrill and joy of Arav's mother when on her walk to the local market, a little boy was sat against the wall. Her little boy. She rejoiced and threw her arms round Arav, shouting that her boy had been returned to her, but he was cold and not moving. Upon further inspection of her son, she found his eyes were no longer the dark brown like hers, they were a pale blue now. She screamed as when she put him back. Convictions means the